what you see now in terms of the international debate? You think something is a bit distorted?
Highly. I mean, people are just obsessed with when Israel does it, it's an outrage and a war crime. And everywhere else they have understanding that there are complications, and there are plenty of complications in this one too.
I think that it's a mistake to think it's simple, black and white as a matter of law. It's not. It's complicated. But what it is important to know is that we do have very good legal arguments. We don't tend to hear them. The way the law is generally discussed is if it's all absolutely clear that Israel's case is insupportable. And we have to know that that's not so. We have to learn a little bit better what the law has to tell us, and we'll find that we actually have quite a good case.
There is no other country in the world, none at all, which has ever acknowledged that it is involved in an occupation. I mean, since 1945. So what that tells you is this is a very, very flexible category, and there shouldn't be an international law which applies only to Israel.
There are issues of sovereignty. To whom does this land belong? And the doctrines are a little bit complex, but I think at the end of the day, I think Israel is a very good claim that we have the best claim to sovereignty to all of the land of Israel, including Judea and Samaria.
So really, there was a war in 1967. Israel took over the land because there was a security threat. The security threat didn't go away. What basically is the big claim, and what are you saying?
Well, I think what other people are saying is the Palestinians have a right to a state, and I'm not actually disputing that. I mean, that'd be good. I personally think it would be good. We could have an argument about what the boundaries are. But until we come to an agreement, until there is an agreement and the Palestinians say, yes, we will live peacefully and we will not attack you and we have no further grievances or complaints, until you get to that point, I think it's not reasonable for Israel to disarm itself by saying, yes, come right next to Tel Aviv. So there continues to be an Israeli presence. There's a fairly limited presence, actually.
Generally, it's not thought that the laws of belligerent occupation apply to land to which one has a good claim of sovereignty, and they also generally do not apply past a peace treaty. And we have a peace treaty with Jordan. We also have several with the PLO. And generally, in circumstances like that, it's generally thought that the laws of belligerent occupation do not apply. Nevertheless, people say that they do apply in this case.
And some will say, okay, there should be a military presence, but stop creating facts on the ground. Stop settling the land.
Well, if the argument is just you should not make very great demographic changes on the future Palestinian state, I'm open to that. I think that's something worth talking about. But I don't think that's where we are right now. I mean, if people are saying you cannot have Jews in the Jewish quarter of the old city of Jerusalem, it's preposterous. I mean, they were driven out. Why can't they come back? If you say there can't be Jews living in suburbs of Jerusalem, I don't know. Why not? We don't know what the future borders will be. Some other places, I think you could have a reasonable discussion about it, but it shouldn't be all or nothing. It shouldn't be international law says you can't live anywhere outside the Green Line.
And how about the fact that when some talk about the Palestinian state, they're talking about without the settlers, taking out the settlers, creating a state that is settler-free?
There's no other place where a peace agreement was followed by migrants being expelled. This did not happen in East Timor. This did not happen in Bosnia. This has not happened anywhere. No one ever was proposing this in Cyprus, where a lot of people from Turkey were moved into the northern Turkish Republic there in Cyprus. And all the proposals for reunification assume that recent migrants from Turkey will be allowed to stay. I don't know whether a lot of Israelis will want to stay in a future Palestinian state, but the idea that it would be horrifying, would be defiling to have them there is just preposterous.
I can't promise you that we have answers for all these things. What I can promise you is that when those people who say that we're absolutely wrong do not have a good case.